Leo, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus placements. I hope you're well. Thank you so much for being here. I'm Jen with Timeline Tarot, and this is your full moon in Aquarius reading. It is a general collective reading, so as the messages come through today, take what fits, leave what doesn't, because if it's not your message, it simply means it is meant for someone else to hear. And please check your other placements, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus. And if you're not sure what those placements are, in the description box of this video is a link where you can obtain your free birth chart. So, Leo, I pulled up your chart here, and this is for Sun, Moon, Rising, which is your ascendant, as well as your Venus. And it looks like this full moon in Aquarius, it's basically going to shine a spotlight for you directly on your 7th house of one-on-one relationships. So with the sun in your sign and the moon opposite you, relationships are reaching a make or break climax. So this is a moment in time where you can like release dynamics where you feel stifled, or where maybe there's a hyper independence occurring, and that is blocking true intimacy. And when I say intimacy, it doesn't have to be romantic. It could just be intimacy between friends, like your ability to be vulnerable and express your deepest, darkest desires or wants, needs, or maybe even fears, as you would when you're talking to a friend. So let's see where we go with this. I'm using the Urban Crow Oracle deck, and then we'll dive deeper into this message utilizing tarot. So for Leo, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus placements, what is their full moon in Aquarius message? And how does this pertain to their 7th house of one-on-one relationships for the Leo collective? Let's get one more shuffle here for you. Thank you. If it's a little noisy, I apologize. It's like the first nice day here where I can actually have the windows open and not have to run that AC. But unfortunately, everyone started doing their lawn work. So I apologize if you can hear that. Oh, card number 17, exposed. At the bottom of the deck, we have card number 48, teamwork. Card number 17, exposed. Alone and unprotected, the fledgling is vulnerable to attack. Exposed may indicate you are being thrust into the spotlight, and potentially not in a good way, depending on the circumstances. As a result, you may feel helpless and fear possible criticism. Exposed may also point to an open and free opportunity for the taking, as there will not be much in the way of opposition. Exposed speaks to the feelings that surface as a result of feeling vulnerable. It's kind of what I said in your opening. Are you comfortable putting yourself out there? Does facing criticism cause you to freeze up? What opportunities have you possibly missed because of a fear of being seen for who you truly are? Exposed may also present itself as a call to examine your situation more carefully, as a piece of valuable information is becoming clearer. Something or someone may expose their flaws or their weaknesses, and this may prove to be beneficial information for you in the future. Okay. Tell me more about card number 17, exposed, for Leo's Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus placements, and how does this pertain to their full moon in Aquarius message? And what does this have to do with their 7th house of one-on-one relationships, professional, platonic, and romantic, for the Leo collective? One more shuffle here. Thank you. We have the 4 of Swords, we have the Wheel of Fortune, and we have Temperance. At the bottom of the deck, we have 10 of Pentacles. Clarify that 4 of Swords for me, please. Clarify the 4 of Swords. Okay. I just got an image of a cat laying on its back, and it holds true for humans as well. Think about when you are sleeping, or when your pet sleeps, or just resting. When they're sleeping on their back, and again, I don't know why I got the cat image, but for a cat to lay itself on its back and stretch itself out and expose its belly to you means that it trusts you. It's in a very vulnerable position at that point. It doesn't know if you're going to hit it, stomp on it, or you know what I mean? So it has to really trust you, because out in the wild, they're not just rolling around and like, hey, look, tummy, you know, come get me, coyote. So we're looking at that 4 of Swords where this person is like on their back, there is something here about you being exposed. I'm not saying like something is coming to light that will tarnish your reputation or anything like that. I mean, can you truly lay there freely? Lay yourself bare. And again, I don't mean that in an intimate way or like being nude or naked. But can you lay yourself bare there with the people in your life? Or do you hold yourself back because maybe you're afraid that if you expose that vulnerable side, like it will not be fully accepted? Tell me more about the 4 of Swords. One more shuffle. Thank you. The 4 of Swords is clarified by the 8 of Pentacles, the 6 of Wands, and the 6 of Cups. Bottom of the deck, we have the Queen of Swords. Let me get a couple more cards on this. Clarify the Wheel of Fortune, please, for Leo. One more shuffle here. Thank you. The Wheel of Fortune is clarified by Strength. That is your major arcana card. The Ace of Cups and the Ace of Wands. Wow. Temperance. Why is Temperance here? One more shuffle. Thank you. Temperance is clarified by Ace of Swords. You have 3 of the 4 aces on the table. The 9 of Wands and the 10 of Wands. Bottom of the deck, 2 of Swords. 2 of Swords is the moon in Libra, and Libra is the house of partnerships, marriage, contracts, relationships, whether they're professional, platonic, or romantic. I'm speaking specifically to a group of Leos where when you present yourselves among your peers, family members, lovers, even at work, you are confident as shit. And if you don't like cursing, I just may not be the tarot reader for you. But if you can overlook that, this may be a message for you. You put on, I shouldn't say you put on, you put a lot of effort into showing up in your best form. 8 of Pentacles to the 6 of Wands to the 6 of Cups. When it comes to the soul contracts in your life, you always want to appear to be, I'm victorious, I'm on top of my game, I know what I'm doing, I'm getting this done, I'm looking good, I'm smelling good. I feel like I'm speaking to a group of you where you, I'm not going to say that you have a facade, but I think you try to present yourself in a more positive light than what you may be feeling. Like, I think you have people in your life who connect with you on a day-to-day basis who think you're being vulnerable, who think you're being absolutely genuine. And please don't mistake what I'm saying as like you're not a genuine person, but that you're being really vulnerable with them and you're emotionally invested and connected. And I don't really think you are. I think there's a very small group of people, if any at all, that you are truly yourself around. I think most of the time you are this, and you put 8 of Pentacles, a lot of effort into this. Because at the heart of it, something here occurred once upon a time that left you a bit wounded in that 9 of Wands. And so maybe you come across as being confident, and sometimes even cocky, but inside of you, dare I say, is a little boy or a little girl that isn't very comfortable exposing themselves because fear of persecution or abandonment or betrayal. So the Wheel of Fortune, this is like a destined fated moment for you. And I know we kind of hate tossing around that phrase in the tarot community, and we certainly dislike hearing it. I know I do. I watch tarot readings just like you do. But you have some new opportunities headed your way. Some in career and finance, some in love and romance, some in a creative endeavor or a project. And you'll get to choose, as of course you will. You have the divine gift of free will, about whether or not you have truly healed this wound and you can really be vulnerable. You can really be you. So let me give you an example. Let's say you're a Leo and you have an online platform. Maybe you're a tarot reader like I am, okay? And maybe you do videos on YouTube. It's just an example, okay? Extrapolate it, apply it to your life how you see fit. You may present yourself to your audience, to your subscribers or your community like this. There's a lot of effort in before you get in front of that camera. You are confident as you connect to these individuals, who, by the way, are soul contracts. There is an energetic exchange between you and them, just like there's an energetic exchange right now between you and I, even though we've never met in person. So I just feel like there's a lot of effort put into, I'm on top of my game and I'm sharp and I'm channeling these messages for you. Thank you, Mercury retrograde. A couple hours to go here. It's a Gemini sun. I can't wait for that to go direct. Anyway, there's a feeling here of presenting yourself really well, but maybe when you share examples, okay, of what you're going through in order to relate to your community, your subscribers, you're not vulnerable enough. You're not exposing yourself enough to actually use your own life examples. Like, let's say you're reading for Scorpio, you might just read it like, Scorpio, it could be this, it could be that, it could be this, as opposed to being vulnerable and exposing a part of yourself to say, if this is your experience, I know what you're going through because I went through something similar when ABC, XYZ happened. I could be speaking to a Leo that when you're engaging with friends, they all think like they know you like the back of their hands. And meanwhile, they really don't know much about you. Maybe there are some quirks that you like or some hobbies, and you feel like I can't fully expose myself. If my friends knew that I like this or I like that, they might not look at me the same. I could be speaking to a Leo who has a very traditional or non-traditional view of committed partnerships. And it's something that you keep to yourself because it's in opposition to the people you interact with, like maybe your family. So I just feel like I'm specifically speaking to a group of you that you really make an effort to shine, but you're actually not shining. You're actually dulling your shine because you're not allowing yourself to be vulnerable. Like when you go out on a date, and I'm not saying you got to lay it all out to bear on the first dinner or whatever it is that the two of you are doing, but there is something here about needing to be a little guarded. I can't show weakness. I can't show that I, have experienced these things because I don't want to look weak. Six of Wands isn't weak. Six of Wands is I'm confident. So I feel like I definitely have a group of you here where you sort of hide behind this facade, lack of a better word, because you've been wounded before. But you have some new opportunities coming up in work, in love, and it's important for you at this time to release, because full moons are for releasing, where you could actually release that hyper independence that you have. That, oh, I can't tell anyone what I'm going through. I can't share with anyone what I have experienced in the past. I can't talk about my current relationship. That's hyper independence. And that would be blocking true intimacy. So you have one, possibly two situations, environments, connections, experiences here coming up. And if you release that hyper independence, you actually heal it in the temperance energy and you show up as more authentic. You'll be healing a wound that you've been carrying around, my friend, for a long time and actually has been a bit of a block to you. Because look at that Nine of Wands, like it's very guarded, right? This actually is the wounded warrior. So when you have the Nine of Wands and then you get that fresh new opportunity, it suddenly becomes 10. Instead of exposing yourself, you kind of hide behind it. So you don't really allow yourself to open up to someone. And it's probably with that Nine of Wands, something that you experienced in the past. It's possible for some of you that you currently have a connection in your life that it really is reaching a make or break climax. And your ability to be able to communicate with this individual and be vulnerable, right? Kind of bare your soul here, expose, and actually convey to them what it is that you're desiring from them could make or break the connection. But it's a lot better than you either continuing to exist in it in a state of inauthenticity or you allowing the connection to break and fall apart. And meanwhile, you never actually spoke your truth. Maybe if you were to express those wants, needs, or desires, whoever's on the receiving end hearing it may actually be able to accommodate you. But you might actually lose a connection by not being vulnerable enough to say something. Tell me more about that Four of Swords. And actually, I'm going to pause the video for a second so I can close that window. Okay, I'm back. So sorry about that. My neighbor had asked the other day when I went to the post office, I guess he's a little down on his luck. And he's like, you haven't been really maintaining the yard like you normally do. And I'm like, I know, I'm trying to like hide myself. And he's like, oh, I'm actually looking for extra work. And I was like, say no more. Let me go to the car and get my wallet. But I did tell him that I record in the mornings. And he was like, I won't record until later in the day. It'll be cooler for me anyway. But I guess he's out there in his tank top mowing the side yard there. So again, I apologize for the noise, but it's nice to see that he's doing it. Anyway, back to you. Oh, maybe that's an example there. It takes a lot for a 70-year-old war veteran to approach their neighbor, who they kind of know, but not really, and say, hey, listen, I noticed that the grass is growing and I'm in need of some money. That's vulnerable, right? To say I'm having a difficult time getting by. And the economy, isn't that great for me right now? And what I'm spending on groceries, I mean, he went into this whole thing. I was like, Bruce, say no more. Like, I need it done, and you could provide the service. But I could see that he was really trying to sit behind a wall at first and make it about me that my grass is like 3 inches tall. It's not like there's not a forest out there. I just mowed it a week ago. And then he started to relax and actually lay himself bare. And I was like, say no more, because I could tell he was uncomfortable. I was like, I get it. So it might be uncomfortable for you to sit down and have this conversation. It might be uncomfortable for you to be authentic enough to connect with your audience. It might be uncomfortable for you when you go on the next date to actually allow yourself to open up your heart chakra. And I'm not saying fall in love with the person over, cocktails and appetizers, but to allow yourself the possibility of falling in love. Tell me more about that Four of Swords here. Okay. You know, it's interesting. 5 of Cups there, 5 of Pentacles on the split, and the 2 of Cups ended up on the side here. So definitely here for you has to do with connection. Again, professional, platonic, or romantic. Like when you go on a job interview, maybe this is a job interview that is coming in for you. Can you really be honest and authentic and say, this is what I need from a job? Or do you just take any job? Like maybe you don't ask the right questions because you don't want to appear to look vulnerable. But that's not being vulnerable. That's actually coming from a position of power when you go to a job interview with a set of questions that they need to answer. And depending on those answers, you get to choose if you'll accept the job or not. That's not you being a hard ass. That's you making a smart decision based on questions that you need answered about benefits, about pay raises, about promotions, about a growth potential. These are important questions that you should be asking. Victory isn't walking in with a smile on your face, looking good, smelling good, and getting the job, and then, you know, waking up 30 days from now and realizing you made a really big mistake because you didn't ask the right questions, because you didn't want to appear to be vulnerable. And then they look at you like, well, you didn't have any questions at the interview. Well, we told you what the job entailed. You took it. So now it kind of looks like you're the problem. And in a way, you kind of are. Because you didn't want to be vulnerable enough to ask the right questions. Tell me about that 4 of Swords here. One more shuffle. Thank you. We're going to take it. 4 of Swords is clarified by Queen of Pentacles, 10 of Cups, and the 2 of Swords. There it is again. 10 of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. So when it comes to your inner circle, you'll, again, professional, platonic, or romantic, Queen of Pentacles, you'll nurture it. You'll invest in it. Time, talent, money, love, devotion, loyalty. So in that circle there, that 10 of Cups, all those people, look at that 2 of Swords just blocked. So you're not, I feel like I'm specifically speaking to a group of Leos. You're not very vulnerable with a lot of people. Tell me about the opportunities coming in. One more shuffle. Thank you. The opportunities. 5 of Swords, Justice, and the Star card. Bottom of the deck, the King of Wands. The opportunities, and I do believe it's plural with the 2 aces here on the table, is your opportunity to see how maybe you are sabotaging connections in your life because you are not vulnerable enough. You're not vulnerable to state what it is that you want, need, or desire from the job, from the business, from the friendship, from the relationship. Where does this stem from? One more shuffle here. Thank you. On its side, the Devil. You saw that. The 5 of Wands, the Queen of Cups, and the Sun. Bottom of the deck, 3 of Pentacles. Where does this stem from? This stems from once upon a time when you did open up your heart. Whoever you opened up your heart to, and maybe it's one person, maybe it's up to 5 people, a group of people, you walked away believing that you were emotionally manipulated, that someone took your vulnerability and used it against you, took the love or respect or admiration you had for them and used it against you. They either manipulated you or they gaslit you. There was something toxic here. And what was toxic was they were using you against you. The bottom of the deck, we have card number 48, Teamwork, and then we have 3 of Pentacles, which is Teamwork Makes the Dream Work, and right behind that we have the 9 of Pentacles. So I have a group of you, even if you're currently partnered, you might actually operate from a place of, I'm doing what I have to do to get the job done, I'm doing what I have to do to keep this relationship going, you pay the bills, you make dinner, whatever it is that you do, but your lid on the chalice here is closed. So you're not fully vulnerable with your person. And look, maybe they're the devil sideways. I don't know. Or it could just be a past relationship. So I think you do show up. I think you show up to work. But look at that hyper independence there with that 3 of Pentacles to the 9 of Pentacles. And look, I love the 9 of Pentacles. It's one of my favorite cards in tarot. But not in this instance. Because you're allowing something from the past to block how you show up in the present. And because of that, it's creating a dynamic between you and your connections where it's stifling them. There's not a lot of growth, and you're not receiving the emotional fulfillment that you need either. So what can you release? These fears, doubts, insecurities that you have when it comes to being vulnerable. because what a past person or past people did to you. It's almost like you want love or you want respect or you want admiration, and you're not opposed to giving it. You're just a little closed off when it comes to receiving it, because receiving it means you have to be vulnerable and you have to admit that you need it. I hope that those messages make sense. Again, only take what resonates. So if you have a relationship in your life right now, looking at that chart, that is reaching a make or break climax, you have one or two things you can do here. You can say nothing, and the relationship will come increasingly burdensome until it eventually fades out of your life. Or you can speak up in an authentic, vulnerable way, being very exposed and laying to bear what it is that you need from that person. And maybe they can provide it and maybe they can't. But at least you were vulnerable enough to say what it is that you need. That's far better than just lingering in a connection that's coming to an end, or walking away from a connection and wondering for the rest of your life, could that person have fulfilled that need for you? How would you ever know that if you never expressed it? Let's get you 3 cards of advice. 3 cards of advice here. I would release this defense, this wall from you. Like, I can love, but only up to some point. I can let you in, but only up to some point. And for some of you, this, I don't need anyone, I'm good. You do need someone. Everyone needs someone, even if it's just a friend. One more shuffle. Thank you. And don't let this jackass or jackasses stop you from connecting to what's coming in for you. Ace of Wands. Everything I said is the effing truth. 9 of Cups and the 6 of Wands. Bottom of the deck, Knight of Wands. Well, isn't that a different way to feel confident? When you're actually expressing what it is that you want and need, you actually end up a lot happier. Because the 10 of Cups is great, but not when it's clarified by the 2 of Swords and it's a block. But the 9 of Cups is, I can be authentically me, and I like it, and I'm happy for it. And so this is general, like, this is authentic, not general. This is authentic. This is inauthentic happiness. I have to work really hard to show that everything is good. And this is just naturally feeling it, because you're not afraid to hold back. So when this new opportunity comes in, allow yourself to enjoy it, embrace it, and allow yourself to be vulnerable. It's okay to ask the right questions. It's okay to open up your heart. Again, don't allow what a person or people did to you in the past to prevent you from experiencing happiness again. And if this is between you and your person, and I have no indication of that on the table, but with that 2 of Cups on the side, the Devil on the side, the 6 of Cups there, it's possible. Have a conversation. Aces could also speak about conversations. So have a conversation. Explain what it is that you want or need. Take the initiative to have that conversation and be optimistic about it. And whatever happens, happens. But at least you know. And for all you know, they could provide you what it is that you need. But how would they know it if you don't tell them? Let's close it out now with the Moonology card here, please. Sorry, your reading went a little long. One more shuffle. Thank you. Moonology card. It's time to take action. New moon in Aries. It's time to initiate the conversation. It's time to let go of the wall. It's time to stop operating from the state of hyper independence, like you don't need anyone. It's time to stop blocking true intimacy with all of your connections. Bottom of the deck, you and your loved ones are safe. New moon in Cancer. You can let your guard down. It's okay. It's okay to be bare. It's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to be authentically you. You're safe. That is what I have for you, Leo. That is your full moon in Aquarius message. If you like that message, resonated with you, you want to claim all or part of it, please be sure to click like, share, comment, and subscribe. Hype the video on your mobile device if you're able to do that. And don't forget to check out your other placements. It's always a pleasure reading for you, Leo. I've seen so much growth in the Leo Collective in the last 2 years. So thank you for sharing your journey with me. And until I read for you again, I'm wishing you light, love, and peace.